Coming up on Q2, a victim remembered.
It's like the worst news you can get.
A Southside stabbing takes the life of a mother tonight. The family shares their memories. Plus, lucky to be alive.
Dan and I jumped kind of under a car. We got in a spot where we thought we were safe.
A Bozeman man and his family right below the gunman who opened fire at a 4th of July parade near Chicago and beating the odds and the competition.
I've got a second chance at life, which is amazing.
A Billings man taking full advantage of a new lease on life. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Russ Riesinger. Our top story, the trouble continues for one Billings Southside neighborhood. First, Sunday night, a fatal stabbing took the life of a woman. Then this morning, a fire broke out right next door to where that happened. Tonight, our Haley Monaco has more on the case and hears from the family of the victim.
I'm at the scene where a woman was fatally stabbed Sunday. I spoke with the victim's brother Tuesday, where he let me know she was a mother to 2 twin girls and a friend to all.
No matter what, she always did her best for them, and she was the best mom.
The Billings Police Department responded to the stabbing around 9:30 Sunday night. The victim was rushed to the hospital but later died due to her injuries. The family informs us that the victim was 24-year-old Jessie Jane Gardner. That incident occurring near her home on the 200 block of South 27th Street. Friends and relatives say that even if her home was not in the best location, it was always a safe spot for them and her door was always open.
She always took care of everybody. When someone needed help, she always, no matter what, she tried to help them out. That's just the kind of person she was.
Police believe it was an isolated incident and they are aware of a suspect, but so far, no arrests have been made. They say there is no threat to the public. There was also a structure fire that occurred early Tuesday morning. This is where the scene of the stabbing occurred, and the structure fire just right over in this home here. Now, police don't believe the incidents were related and are just listing it as a structure fire and not arson as of now. Gardner's family will remember her vibrant personality and are currently raising money for her twin girls.
She was a mom, she was a sister, she was a daughter, she was a friend. She was just the best.
In Billings, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
The death toll is now at 7 and more than 30 others are injured after yesterday's shooting at a 4th of July parade in suburban Chicago. And tonight we're learning more about the gunman police believe carried out that shooting. Police say 21-year-old Robert Cremo III apparently planned that attack for weeks before firing at least 70 rounds from a high-powered rifle into the crowd. He was disguised in women's clothing as he opened fire from a business rooftop. The deputy chief says he then dropped the rifle, blended in with the crowd, and walked to his mother's house. Cremo was apprehended about 9 hours later during a traffic stop, and police say they found another rifle in his car at that time. Investigators are still looking for a motive, but at this point, there's no indication anyone else was involved. Well, one Bozeman man was at that parade yesterday, located right below the shooter. He spoke with MTN's Judy Slate today and says he and his family are very lucky to be alive.
Right away, I knew someone was shooting. I just remember hitting the deck and looking for my family.
Kevin Cumling snapped this picture right before the gunman opened fire at the July 4th parade in Highland Park. His in-laws, Steve and Dana Johnson, are in the foreground. You can see his 2-year-old son waving towards the parade.
It felt like a bullet went kind of right past my head. My ear was ringing really loud and I felt like a burn on my arm. And so it was just a little piece of fragment of something that stuck up in my right arm. One of those moments where you never think it's going to happen to you, and it's really surreal the time that it's happening, and you're not really thinking or processing. You're just trying to make sure your family's safe.
Police say 70 rounds were fired into the crowd.
My wife went into mom mode, and she was gathering the kids, and we couldn't find one of our daughters at first. And our oldest daughter ran it and grabbed her and brought her into the store. And so my wife took the kids and they barricaded up in a bathroom and locked the door.
Dan and I jumped kind of under a car. We didn't go completely under it, but we got in a spot where we thought we were safe because we knew, like Kevin said, the shots were coming from, and we figured it was a rooftop. behind us.
When I could see what was going on with people being shot and little ones, and it was a war zone.
Well, your natural instincts, I think, take over. It's like, you know, the 9-year-old grabbing the 6-year-old and bringing her inside, and mom taking care of her kids and us taking care of each other.
The gunfire stopped. The family reunited, all of them safe. The hardest part now, the impact of the shooting on Kevin and Danelle's 9-year-old daughter.
Every time fireworks went off, I slept next to her, and she'd wake up in fear, and she'd start throwing up, and she'd think that people were shooting at her. And she just said, "Dad, I don't understand how someone could have that much evil in their heart to want to shoot it at kids, families, and their parents just trying to enjoy the 4th of July."
Counselors and other support are available in the small town of Highland Park, but it will take a long time for life to return to normal.
We walked over to a nearby park with our grandson that, hit some golf balls. And I mean, I can tell you, I'll come on all the way over there. I'm looking over my shoulder, just, I mean, we're safe. But it's like, it makes you think. You gotta be really aware of your surroundings.
Even though this family will never forget the fear of that day, they will also remember the goodness.
One very evil person and hundreds and hundreds of really good people that, despite not knowing each other, were taking care of each other. So, amidst all that, all the darkness, like there was still light out there.
Judy Slate, MTN News.
It's another night with a severe thunderstorm watch into effect across eastern Montana and northern Wyoming. Anything in the pink shaded areas, including around Yellowstone County, extending all the way up into northeastern Montana. The potential for some storms that could create damaging winds and large hail. In addition, we've had quite a bit of heavy rain from Miles City, Baker down towards Ekalaka. And so these areas, there is the potential for, if additional heavy rain falls, we could see some localized flooding. The orange box that you're seeing there, that's where we're seeing severe weather developing right now south of the Jordan area. Some of those stronger cells already being very active through the afternoon, and more of it on the way over the next several days. All the forecast details coming up in just a few minutes.
$100 million. That's an estimate of the money Gardner is missing out on because of the flood. And many businesses are still feeling the effects, having to limit hours or not open at all because they don't have enough customers. MTN's Jane McDonald talks with one business owner who would like to see and serve more than her Paradise Valley locals.
It's a strange sight to see empty picnic benches here in Gardner at the Gateway community. Usually they'd be filled with tourists heading over to the park, but a lot of restaurants and some food truck vendors are having to go back to winter hours.
I found this little shack in West Yellowstone in a junkyard, and I had it moved over here on October 22nd of 2021, and I opened December 1st. So I have not even opened 1 year yet.
And on June 13th, amidst the videos of destroyed roads and rescue missions, Rebecca didn't hesitate to serve her community.
I was going to stay open because I work on filtered waters, so I was already ready to go. And that Friday after the flood, I ran to get more water at Bozeman so that I could help other food trucks here open up.
Now where she is and other vendors are is where just 2 years ago, a fire ravaged downtown, a site that is now used to bring a community together.
We've had COVID, we had the fire, and now we want to kind of build Gardner back and let's support each other and get us back on the board.
Rebecca has worked in Gardner for years, and during a typical summer, coffee stands can serve anywhere from 200 to 500 customers a day. But now,
I'm going to say about 100 at best. Some days I only see maybe 20.
And Rebecca thinks helping Gardner get back on the board is more than just the responsibility of Paradise Valley, but on the whole state of Montana.
You know, we need every little bit that we can get out. If you have never experienced Gardner, come down and create your dream. That's pretty much what we need to do, because we've had so much catastrophe happen the last 3 years that there's so much newness here that we can create your dream.
Even though the park is just a stone's throw away, gateway communities mean much more than just a gateway to the park. In Gardner, Jane McDonald, MTN News.
A new type of unemployment assistance is now available to people across the disaster area whose jobs were affected by flooding. Disaster unemployment assistance is available to people who live or work in Park, Stillwater, and Carbon counties and had their jobs affected in a variety of ways, whether they were self-employed, couldn't work because of the disaster, or lost their jobs as a result of it. The assistance is made possible by FEMA as part of their individual assistance relief recently granted to the state after an appeal from the governor. The economic impacts of the flood are still rippling across the whole region, especially in towns dependent on a busy summer tourism season like Gardner.
In terms of economic recovery, I mean, I wish we could recover, but I don't see that happening this year. I mean, when I talk to lodging entities and any reservation booking based business, I mean, they're refunding hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's not a single business or entity from here to Gardner that's not going to be affected, economically by this.
If you think this assistance can help you or someone you know, we put all the criteria and steps for applying in this story on our website, KTVQ.com. Well, still to come on the MTN 530 News here on Q2, one of the most dangerous animals goes head-to-head against man. Alec takes us inside the world of bullfighting in just a bit, but coming up next.
I'm Alina Howder. After being bound to a walker for months, we'll show you how one man got a second chance at life and is now preparing for his first ever 5K. Coming up.
I've got a second chance at life, which is amazing.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this. From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
A terrifying illness nearly took one Billings man's life, but thanks to the Billings Clinic, he's not only surviving, he's thriving. Alina Howder shares his story in tonight's Your Health Matters.
For 2 years, Michael Holland's health deteriorated. He was plagued with severe headaches, fatigue, and it got to the point where he couldn't even move without the help from a walker. He was finally diagnosed with hydrocephalus here at Billings Clinic, where they gave him a second chance at life.
I wake up every morning and I go, I'm alive. It's a great thing to be alive.
61-year-old Michael Holland had no idea he had been living with a debilitating disease for 2 years.
I began having, just a lot of fatigue, forgetfulness, a lot of pain in my walking.
Michael's health was swiftly declining by the end of last year. He had trouble walking, suffered from crushing headaches, and couldn't see well.
It was really scary not knowing what this diagnosis was.
It got so bad, the 4th grade teacher had to use a walker and couldn't drive to his work at Bitterroot Elementary School.
He went from, being able to go for a walk together or experience the outdoors, which is really important to me, to not being able to do anything.
After seeing a doctor, Michael was told he could be suffering from multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's disease, or Parkinson's.
The morning after Thanksgiving, I woke up and I was in a lot of pain.
Becky rushed Michael to Billings Clinic, where a doctor finally gave him the answer he had been looking for.
He said, I think we're looking at something called normal pressure hydrocephalus.
Hydrocephalus is a condition where excess fluid builds up in cavities of the brain. It can be fatal if left untreated and is very difficult to diagnose. Michael received a spinal tap shortly after, and it was like a miracle.
He got up out of the wheelchair and flew across the lobby to me. I was just shocked.
He finally had brain surgery where doctors put a shunt or thin tube in his brain to drain the excess fluid, and now he's cleared to exercise.
I'm really excited in 2 weeks to do my first 5K.
And the family is grateful for the second chance.
Our grandkids love that he now can play with them and get in the sandboxes and build castles and, do the things that he wasn't able to do a year ago. So I'm grateful.
In Billings, Alina Howder, MTN News.
Well, some parts of the Q2 viewing area saw some pretty good-sized hail, and it all happened overnight.
That's right, Russ. In fact, a lot of it happened in Billings Heights around 2:30 in the morning. We saw some hailstorms around Colstrip as well. Some areas, even some flash flooding that developed. That windshield didn't look like it came out of the storm too well. There's a potential for more of that tonight and in the next couple of days. We got forecast details coming.
The MTN 530 News continues right after this.